Journey IFC strives to create safe spaces to worship God. Know that you are welcome just as you are, regardless of religious background or lack thereof, skin color, political affiliation, sexuality, age, culture, or any other label you own or society throws on you. You are welcomed and celebrated here just as you are. Hey y'all, and welcome to our gathering of Journey Imperfect Faith Community. My name is Jacob, and I am so happy to be here with y'all virtually today because we are not meeting this Sunday. Instead, we are all online because many of us are scattered around the world. We have people all over right now. So we're taking the Sunday off, and I hope that y'all are doing something that gives you joy and re-sparks that hope in your life. And if you need some help with that, today we actually have a very special service where I asked just a bunch of journeyers to give their thoughts on hope. So they did this by answering two questions. So the first question is, how do you define hope? And then the second question is, what is currently giving you hope these days? So let's listen along to what our journeyers have to say. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, this is John and Susan. My definition of hope, I visualize a person in darkness who sees a faint glimmer of light on the horizon and walks toward it. So hope is not a passive activity. You have to engage hope to make it be what its potential is. That's what I think.
Okay. Me being who I am, I had to look up what Brene Brown says in her book, Atlas of the Heart, about what hope is. And she says, hope is a function of struggle. We develop hope not during the easy or comfortable times, but through adversity and discomfort. And one of the things she says in here that I think is really interesting is that hope is not an emotion, it's a skill we learn. And we learn it through our parents, just through our growing up and our parents letting us figure out small discomforts and things like that. However, what I also thought was interesting is that hopelessness is an emotion. So I thought that was interesting. The other question is, where do you find hope now? I see a struggle in our world with climate change, and I see some hope in that with all the people that are working really hard to figure out how to reverse what we've done to the climate. So, what do you see?
What I find hopeful is a statistic, of course. That's what I would think of. If we talk about poverty levels in the United States since the Industrial Revolution, it has plummeted. It's not at zero, but it's well on its way. And I find great hope in that mechanism of entrepreneurship in the U.S.
Okay, that's our assignment, and I hope you have a great day, and we plan to be having a good time on Sunday. See you later.
Bye.
Hope. What is hope? Hope is that thing that makes us get up and do it again. It's the glimmer that there is something better. I find hope in nature. I find hope in remembering all the times in our life that were tough, that we finally did make it to the other side. When I was a small child, we would have severe storms, and a tornado destroyed our neighborhood overnight. And when I was little, I would lay in bed and I would hear the trains because I thought it would be a tornado coming. And every night, my mother would tell me, the morning is going to come, it'll be okay in the morning. So to me, hope comes in the morning.
Good morning, y'all. This is Doug. How do I define hope? It's that inner feeling of comfort we have even in moments of trouble. It might be subconscious, or you might be very aware that you're hopeful in the context that is troubling otherwise. What gives me hope right now is, using an example, since we have lots of issues in the world today, young people give me hope. The future is with our children and our grandchildren and beyond, and they are very honest and forthright about what needs to happen. Even though they have fewer years on the planet, they seem to have that inner wisdom, and they're not afraid to speak it. And I believe that's the majority of our young people, not a vocal minority that might be out there spewing vitriol just like some of their elders, especially in light of climate change. I think the young people are very aware of what needs to happen, and their lives depend on it. So that gives me hope that they're out there speaking up. And of course, there's the unnecessary violence and wars that are out there where young people are actually being killed, and they see that the future is going with them, and the way to turn that around is to reach those of us who are in positions of power to do that. So if there is humanity and there is hope, that message to the older generation to stop making a mess of things is where I find hope. I'm going to attach another video of an Emily Dickinson poem, and the title is "Hope is the Thing with Feathers." Y'all have a good day. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
Okay, so you want to know how I define hope, and I really don't know. I guess it's the expectation of what I want to happen for today. So for me, what gives me hope is every morning when I wake up. Glad to be alive, you know, and yeah. So I think a big part of it is whatever I make of my day.
I think of hope as an optimistic longing or yearning that something good will come, bringing relief, joy, contentment, and fulfillment. I think hope is inherent in the human spirit and is connected with faith in something, somewhere. And I think that hope is crucial to life, perseverance, and thriving. I personally find hope in nature, in the pure hearts and thoughts of children, in kind, caring, and inspiring people and leaders, and in moving forward and in change. Sometimes something so simple as just a change in seasons.
Some of our journeyers who weren't comfortable sharing a video wanted to share some of their thoughts, and so I'm going to read those aloud for all of us. And these thoughts here come from the mind and the heart of Phoebe Sosa, who, in the first question on how do you define hope, she said, "For me, hope is a simple desire for one day things to be better. I have been thinking a lot about why I keep doing what I'm doing, even if getting out of bed is really hard, or why I keep trying to improve myself in relationships when it feels impossible. But deep down, I think I keep getting out of bed and I keep trying because at the end of the day, I want to believe that finding peace and happiness is possible, even if it doesn't feel that way." And then on the second question, what is currently giving you hope, Phoebe said, Sometimes I get really caught up in feeling the heaviness of life, but there are some special people that are my emotional floaties. I love that. They reach down and help pull me out when I feel like I'm drowning. They're the ones who remind me that yes, life is really, really hard, but I need to keep chasing the light at the end of the tunnel in order to keep going. Shout out to my best friend Amy, who helps me keep my head above water. Finding hope feels possible with you by my side. Thank you, Amy, and definitely thank you, Phoebe, for your reflection. So we also have some reflections from Mary Myrick, who said, "For me, hope is love." And then she said, "What gives me hope is my faith that teaches me that the divine is in all things. I experience that truth when the divine in me honors the divine in others." Thank you, Mary, for sharing that. That's beautiful.
Jacob asked me to talk about hope. Tertullian said, "Hope is patience with the lamp lit." I think that means knowing what matters most deeply to you, doing what I was created to do, regardless of what anyone or any else thinks, and patiently keeping the light on, paying attention to what other people are perhaps wanting from me, and noticing if God has given me, whether it's skills or money or time or the gift of attention, giving it away and trusting that no matter how dark it is, this day, this moment, I'm letting God use me to put more love in the world.
Question about what is hope, or how do you define hope? I guess for me, hope is a smile, a hug, a laugh. But I think more importantly, hope is a string, a rope, I guess, that you hang on to. You have to have faith to really understand hope, I guess. Faith in something greater than who we are. And what does hope look like for me? I guess it's like a light switch, in a dark place, and you look for that light switch. I guess the hope is that there's a light switch somewhere. There's a rope to hang on to. There's a smile to hang on to, a hug, a laugh, an embrace. Sometimes hope looks like a dog running up to greet you. But hope is something that you have to understand it's okay to feel, because so many people try to rob us of that joy, that hope. But I think hope is knowing that at the end of the day, there's a light switch somewhere. You just got to find it.
Good morning. So Jacob asked me to give you a little bit of my thoughts about hope. First, my definition of hope. It seems to me there are actually two types of hope. They overlap. The first is what I'll call secular hope. That's a desire for something to happen that is neither 100% sure to happen nor impossible to happen. So somewhere between 1% and 99%, so you can have a true hope that will happen, but not necessarily a certainty. The other type of hope, I think, is more of a biblical definition of hope, and that is, I think, closer to a 100% certainty that it will happen, having to do with God's power and wisdom and ability to save us. The other question was, what is currently giving me hope? Less than a month away from the national election, I suppose I have some hope about that. But on a broader scale, I look at the good that happens in the world. Mother Teresa said, we can do no great things. We can only do small things with great love. I believe there's a lot of wisdom in that. And I look at the good things that people do and the good things that happen, and that's what gives me hope for the future. Thanks.
Good morning. Journey, nice to see you. I hope it's not too late to share my thoughts about hope. Interesting that I, 100 years ago, went to an elementary school called Queen of Hope. And I usually didn't think about the name of the school, but sometimes I did. And at the time, I really liked it. And I think I still really like the name Queen of Hope, but as long as the royalty, the queen, as long as everyone has access to that hope. You know, sometimes I think of royalty as being something outside of me because I'm just a common person. So as far as my definition for hope, I will start by saying that it's like the opposite of despair. And in some ways, I feel like those who are in the deepest despair are the ones who, for whatever reason, have the most hope. And we see this, or I see this, you know, in the conflict in the Mideast. Here we are in America paying taxes to support this horrible genocide, whatever you want to call it. And what I hear and read and talk to among friends who have family over there is that the ones who are in the worst circumstances, again, are the ones who have the most hope. And I guess that's because, you know, you're at such a deep, despairing point. You have to surrender. There's nothing else you can do except for hope. And of course, you know, it's like prayer. There is other things you can do. There's action you can take. The littlest things, you know, just anything. It's how you think, so that you don't live in this deep despair where it's like, what's the point of trying to look for food or take one step forward or breathe? So just some light thoughts this Thursday morning as I eat my breakfast and I have to run off to work. Bye, love y'all.
Hi Journey, Skylar, Shiloh are here, and yeah, okay, I've been thinking about what is hope. For me, hope is this idea or the knowing that both good and bad things happen in the world, and that while I'll probably inevitably experience something bad, hope to me is believing that good things will eventually find you again, that the good will come back, and that you, just by being a human being, are deserving of feeling good things. That they'll come back to you and that you deserve it and you can accept it and appreciate it. And for me, what's giving me hope right now is just the slightest change in weather. Like it's only changed a few degrees, but I feel so much hope for the leaves that are about to change colors and the coolness, the wind that's gonna come. It's still hot, but I really know and hope that it's gonna feel really good when it does.
To me, hope means there will always be something good in the end. Right now, something that gives me hope would be the future. I feel like if I put in the work and I do what I need to do, something good will happen.
Hope to me means happiness. Being out in nature gives me hope.
Hope is a belief in the future, that there can be a future, that there will be a future. The thing that gives me hope is watching a friend start a very difficult process and succeed, moment by moment, always fighting to go forward into the future.
So for the first question, I would say that hope is that excited anticipation for something good to be coming. Just that feeling of, I can get through this because goodness is on the other side of whatever this obstacle is. And then the thing that's giving me hope right now is I'm going to ACL this weekend, and I'm going to see live music. And anytime I get to do that, it just makes my day better. It makes me happier, and makes me feel like things are going to be okay, even after a really hard week. So yeah, that's where I'm finding my hope.
Okay, we're all here together. Yeah. I think hope is like joy. Hope is something to look forward to. I think that sunrises are hopeful. A clear, starry night is hopeful.
So I would say hope for me is defined as a light in your life when you feel like there's just complete darkness, a reason to have faith, even if it's just for a moment or just a sliver of time, but it's something that you can't really explain. It's just a feeling or this depth that makes you feel at peace and that there's a reason for everything, no matter what it is. And what gives me hope right now is community and my friends who are like my family and my actual family, and just little things that people do day to day that show kindness and humanity. And also like meditation for me gives me hope, and laughter for sure, like remembering to laugh. So yeah, that's hope for me.
Hey Journey, Wade and Steph here. Jacob gave us a few questions, asked us to answer them. So I'm going to ask Steph the first one. Miss Stephanie, how do you define hope?
To me, hope is looking forward to a positive outcome. And I think you can relate that to like an internal thing, or through your community, or with God, or with your partner. And all of this kind of stems from your past experience. So I say, yeah, that's my definition of hope, and being hopeful because of your positive past experience in difficult situations. Cool. And this second question I'm going to ask you, Mr. Wade, is what is currently giving you hope?
So I think one thing that gives me a lot of hope right now is the fact that us as humans, we have access to a lot more data than we ever had. And sometimes that can be seen as a negative, where we're being hit from all these directions and it feels like the world is constantly on fire. But I also think a lot of good is coming from that. And I think some of what we were experiencing now is just certain pieces of information coming to light that we didn't know previously. So it seems bad, but actually we're trending the right direction. So that's something that I look for in society today.
I find it can be hard to hang on to hope sometimes. We've heard the poem from Emily Dickinson before. Hope is the thing with feathers that can withstand the gale and stays with us no matter what and doesn't ask anything of us. And while I love that poem, I don't know that it necessarily reflects how I feel all the time. So here's a different poem. This one is by Thomas Sentinella. It was written in 2017. The hope I know doesn't come with feathers. It lives in flip-flops and in cold weather, a hooded sweatshirt like a heavyweight in training, or a monk who has taken a half-hearted vow of perseverance. It only has half a heart, the hope I know. The other half it flings to every stalking hurt. It wears a poker face, quietly reciting the laws of probability, and gladly takes a back seat to faith and love. It's that many times removed from when it had youth on its side and beauty. Half the world wishes to stay as it is, half to become whatever it can dream, while the hope I know struggles to keep its eyes open and its mind from combing an unpeopled beach. Congregations sway and croon, constituents vote across their party line, rescue parties wait for a break in the weather, and who goes to sleep with a prayer on the lips or half a smile knows some kind of hope. Though not the hope I know, which slinks from dream to dream, without ID or ally, traveling best at night, keeping to the back roads and the shadows, approaching the radiant city without ever quite arriving.
My sending for today is actually going to be a song called Traveling Mercies by Billy Crockett. It's a song that Journey is historically sang as ascending, to send us out in the world. But today we are already out in the world doing our thing. And so we want to bless the traveling that you are doing wherever you are around the world in the community. We pray blessings over you. And I pray that today, in watching this video and hearing other people talk about what hope means to them and how hope is springing up around them, I hope that that is happening for you as well, that this can spark that same sense of hope and that you can find it in your lives. We miss you and we can't wait to be back together again next week. And this is our prayer, our offering, Traveling Mercies. If you know it, please sing along. With every day break out on the traveler's way, follow the high road, look for me there. Take bread for the journey and strength for the fight, comfort to sleep through the night, wisdom to choose at the fork in the road, and a heart that knows a way home. And for the faithful, and for the weary, and for the hopeful, here's my prayer. Go in peace, live in grace, trust in the arms that will hold you. Go in peace, live in grace, trust God's love. And love will hold us, and love will live in our hearts forever. Take bread for the journey and strength for the for the journey and strength for the fight, comfort to sleep through the night, and wisdom to choose at the fork in the road, a heart that knows the way home. Be on your way, traveling mercies to you. Journeyers, go in peace with traveling mercies, knowing that there is nothing you can do to make God love you any more, and there is nothing you can do to make God love you any less. Let us live into this truth and go out in peace and hope. Amen.